What's going on? Hope everybody's having a good day. Uh, I don't know, I just wanted to make a video. I got a new book in the mail, and I was pretty stoked. I just had a little story I was going to tell you about it, which, I don't know, I was pretty psyched on getting it. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I wish I could remember what the name of the podcast was, so I could at least give them some credit. Um, but the whole subject, sorry, voice is clogged up. The whole subject of the podcast was ancient astronaut theory, and it was a really good podcast. Actually, I just put it on for background noise, and next thing I know, I got sucked into it, and I'm watching it and stuff. But they had somebody on there, and he was talking basically about Eric von Däniken and Zachariah Sitchin, and how he had gotten into the ancient astronaut theory by reading Mothman and stuff when it came out when he was younger. And so I started, I heard those three names, and I was like, I just kind of got sucked into it. But the guy, the host of the podcast, he'd brought up, he's like, have you ever heard of Desmond Leslie? And my ears kind of perked up. I'd never heard of him. And he's like, basically Eric von Däniken gets all the credit of starting the ancient astronaut theory. And I think Chariots of the Gods was written like late 60s. And he wrote all the way through, I think, well, he's still writing today, actually. Um, but, and I was like, no, I've never heard of him. And the guy was like, no, I've never heard of him. And apparently, Eric von Däniken did not start the ancient astronaut theory. So I was kind of surprised. It was this guy named Desmond Leslie, and he wrote a book called Flying Saucers Have Landed. So I always write down, books I want to get for in the future, And I had this huge list, and I very rarely actually order any books because I have a bad habit of just buying books and buying books and buying books and not being able to read them all. But so I wrote it down, and just out of curiosity, went on eBay, and the prices for it were ridiculous. It's written in 1954. I actually got a copy, and it's got a cool little like pulp, cover artwork. Dust jacket's pretty damaged. The actual book itself's in good condition. But the reason I was so psyched about getting it was when I was on eBay, I was looking at the prices, and I seen one copy in there for like 200, another copy for like 150. And I kept scrolling down, and I was like, man, I'll never get this book. That's way too expensive. And I just happened to come across it was a bid, and it had like an hour, or it had like 5 hours and 0 bids on it. And I told my girlfriend, I got super psyched. I was like, I got to go to work later. Please put at least a bid on this book for $1, like the last hour. And she put a bid on it for $1, and we got it. Like a $200 book, $150 book for $1. But yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. It's split into 2 books. Like the first is written by Desmond Leslie, and the second's written by George Adamski. But I'm not saying I'll read the entire book. I might just read book 1. But yeah, he basically started the whole ancient astronaut theory. Never heard of him. As long as I've been reading about it, ancient astronaut theory, and reading Zachariah Sitchin and Eric von Däniken, I've never heard of Desmond Leslie. So he talks about the Vimana and supposedly the UFOs in the Bible and stuff. Pretty much just was the first one to come up with the theory. So I'm psyched. Right now I'm actually reading Lost Book of Enki, Zachariah Sitchin. I've been wanting that forever, and my girlfriend bought it for me. It's really good. It's basically like talking about the Anunnaki and getting into the creation of man, on how we were genetically altered to mine gold, and the original Adam and Eve, before the Bible kind of corrupted the story, talks about Cain and Abel, the original story of them. And I got another book too, which I was once again psyched about. I actually got this one from Barnes and Noble's, brand new, so I had to pay a little bit more. It was like $17, but I've been wanting it forever. Getting into the ancient astronaut theory and stuff, you always hear about the Book of Enoch, and it's like the Christianized version of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, and the sons of God coming down and mating with the daughters of man, creating giants and stuff. That's the cover of it, and it's brand spanking new. I'm super psyched. I can't wait to read it. That'll probably be my next one after I read Lost Book of Enki. But yeah, I just figured I'd share what I've got. I feel like it's early Christmas over here. I'm psyched. But y'all have a good day.